Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to create a fully autonomous AI marketing system. This AI automation will research topics about your business and automatically create social media posts as well as blog articles that you can share with your audience. The model that we're building today is fully generative. Everything from text to images will all be produced by AI. The reason why I've opted to do a fully generative model is so that as the technology of AI improves, so will this model, and we can continue to build it and use it to have a fully autonomous business in the future. Okay, so let's take a look through the model. It's actually quite extensive, but it's much more simple than it looks. Usually I would use Google Sheets. So in previous videos, I've used Google Sheets. Today, I've opted for Airtable. There is a technical reason for that I'll reveal at a later date in another video. But let me just explain quickly how this model works, and then I'll go into a bit more depth so that you can understand and perhaps build it yourself. So what it's doing is it's scraping information out of Airtable. So I'm going to quickly show you what Airtable looks like. You can see here I have information about the business. The reason it's set up like this is so that I can change this information and plug and play any business. Let's say I wanted to replicate this model with a different business, then I only need to change this information in this notes column. So it will scrape this information and it will feed all this into the text aggregator. What the text aggregator does is it will take all of these cells and combine them, so it'll get all the information about the business. It will then feed this into Perplexity AI. Perplexity AI is a bit different from ChatGPT because ChatGPT has limitations on the information that it indexes within its database. Perplexity AI has much more extensive reach and can scrape information from the internet. So it's a great research tool. So it will scrape the information and feed that into ChatGPT. ChatGPT will then summarize and compile the information in a more understandable way. It will then feed into this model here, which actually creates a prompt for DALL-E, which I'll show you later. All of this information is then put back into Airtable in the outputs column. You can see that it's run a few times here already. And the image prompt will go in the image prompt column. It will then be picked up by this series of ChatGPT here, which will then create a social media post, an image, and then it will post it out of Instagram. The same for Facebook, except we've added a image formatter, which will change the resolution and optimize it for our Facebook post. On the bottom row, we actually create an SEO blog article, a series of information that need to be inputted into the WordPress REST API, and also an image formatter. So after the blog has been created, we'll create this image and then we'll update the post so that the post has the image on it. From there, it will be then condensed into a LinkedIn blog post. This LinkedIn here will fire out the blog article onto the Fizzy LinkedIn page. I'm going to show you how this quickly works, and then we'll jump into a bit more detail about how to build it. Okay, so let's quickly look at the outputs and see what's being created. So let's start with Facebook here. Elevate your business with Fizzy social media and design expertise. Okay, that's great. It has some sources here that I will check and verify later, but I have asked it in the automation not to create fictional sources. Okay, great. This one looks good. Inserted the link so people can visit it, and a cool graphic as well, created by AI. Okay, jumping on to Instagram. Unlock your business potential with Fizzy. Did you know 71% of customers are likely to recommend a brand they've had a positive experience with on social media? That's a fantastic selling point to why I utilize Fizzy as a service. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is awesome. I've also asked it to include this phrase at the bottom, which is that this post was wholly generated by AI, and to no more comments social on autopilot. I have asked it to do this on all 3 platforms because I want to engage people in the comments. So if people come and comment social on autopilot, they can learn more about this current project that I'm demonstrating. I highly encourage you to come and try it out for yourself. Okay, so jumping onto LinkedIn, let's have a look. In today's digital age, social media is an indispensable tool for businesses aiming to reach their target audience effectively. Yeah, great statistics here from LinkedIn, offering partnership with Fizzy and Hootsuite as well. And we can just click on the link and it will drop us into the blog post. The blog post has been created with headings that are actually responsive, so it's outputted in a format that is WordPress ready, which is good for SEO. There could be a few upgrades such as links in the future, but I think overall this is a great first attempt. So in detail how this was created. As mentioned, we have the Airtable here, which has all the input information about the business. So when something changes here, or I can ask it to run on a timer such as once a month, which is what I'm going to do with this automation so that people can explore, and you'll see one of these posts cropping up once a month and we'll revisit this topic together. It will compile the information in the inputs, all the business information in here. So just to show you how that's done, you can see here, we've got the field name, notes, where the business information is, and then it will use the column ID. That's fantastic. It will then use this aggregator to aggregate the information in the separate rows in the Airtable. It then feeds it into Perplexity AI, create an extensive and in-depth research about the business and industry based on the information provided. Okay, you are a research assistant, so we're using the assistant function here, on the hunt for topics and ideas to create high volume of search traffic for the business. Now, the reason I've said this is because I want trending topics, and trending topics often get a lot of search traffic. So we're going to look for things that are on trend. Write as an in-depth summary on a topic with as much up-to-date information as possible. Add supporting data where possible. So we want it to be authenticated and realistic so that it can convince people that are reading the outputs later on. Take the content and turn it into a long, detailed, coherent article with references on to data and statistics which make justifications based upon the research about why the business would be an effective solution. After the Perplexity AI module, we'll feed into the first ChatGPT module. Extend the topic and add more information. So we're going to create more information. I think that ChatGPT is a better text-based model, and it has a lot of data, so it can create and add information around research topics. It's going to add keywords to make it SEO blog ready, and it will quote recognize sources from the Perplexity AI model. It will then feed into another ChatGPT module to transform the text into a prompt for DALL-E. We'll then feed both sets of information into the Airtable in the outputs column. So we can see here, if we go to outputs and go down here, we can see that we have these image prompts for DALL-E and also the sources. So as we go back into the module, this one here, I won't go through all of them, but you get the picture that it's going to create an Instagram caption based upon the information that's fed into here. Use adequate line spacing. Please don't include any of the asterisks, speech marks, or hashtags in the copy. And then at the end, please add this sentence. We will then use the prompt from earlier to create our DALL-E image from the Airtable. Now, a reason why I've selected to do it from the Airtable rather than from the GPT module is that for some reason, it prefers to use text from the Airtable or another source compared with a ChatGPT module. I'm not entirely sure why. I always get an error when I'm using a GPT module in DALL-E. So this is the reason why I've put that image prompt in Airtable. Also, it's very organized and we can see all the prompts and information next to each other. I've effectively done the same for Facebook, except I've included one extra addition. And that is that we have a formatter on Facebook, but not on Instagram. So I've had to add this format in here. You can see here we can upload from photo URL, but on Facebook we're going to upload as a JPEG that has been converted twice, once from the DALL-E input and once from the image converter here. Okay, so now I'll show you how we created the last string, which is how we created the blog and the LinkedIn article. Here we have, based upon the text, create an SEO blog article, do not include the title in the body, and output in HTML. Add the following copy at the end. We probably should be familiar with this. And then output for WordPress blog text format. It's very important because it will output for WordPress specifically. If you don't do this, you'll see a lot of HTML in the body of the text, such as asterisks where it should be bolded. If you add this in the system, it will output and be specifically for WordPress, which means that you'll have headers and subheadings, which are also great for SEO. Next, we want to create the title. So we want the title and we want it outputted in alphabet only. The reason why I've stated this is because quite often ChatGPT will put quotation marks around the titles. After that, we move on to creating the description, so a short excerpt for the blog, and then a hyphenated slug so that we have a web slug that is unique to each blog post that we create. And again, please don't include quotation marks. ChatGPT loves to do this for short text outputs. And then create an image based upon this. Again, same image prompt as before. It will then resize it specifically for the WordPress. So let's look at how we filled in the WordPress. Okay, so we've got the title synced up here, so everything should be aligned. You'll be able to see just on my screen here that when I hover, they sort of bump. And then you can see here, selected post types. Now, we haven't included the featured media here. And the reason for that is because quite often it's hard to do it because it's looking for media that's within your WordPress database. So we have to create the media within the WordPress database, which is actually, again, coming from this DALL-E input. And then we update the post with the image so that it all syncs up nicely so that the post is then created, the media, and then it will update the image onto the blog post. From there, we will create a LinkedIn article, which will read the blog. And what it will also do is it will generate a short summary, a title without quotation marks, so that we will have an output with the result and then a link at the bottom of the LinkedIn post so then people can click and go and see the article. I hope you found this useful so that you can create your own marketing AI ecosystem. Please feel free to go comment on the social media posts or even read the blog on the Fizzy website to stay up to date with this project. I will be revisiting it. We're going to look at how we can build it. Maybe we can build some sales outreach systems based upon this model, and it will continue to expand and we'll develop it over time together. So watch out for a version 2 of this video coming soon. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.